I'm Daren King, Head of Tenancy Deposit Protection at the DPS. We continue to see lots of changes within the private rented sector, with some important updates recently being announced. In this video, I'll be talking about them and how they'll affect you. I'll be covering the new regulations regarding energy performance certificates, banning orders and a rogue landlord database, the government's response to mandatory client money protection, the DPS Rent Index, and why it's essential to give tenants the correct information at the right time. Since new regulations came in on the 1st of April, properties being let under an assured or assured short-hold tenancy need to meet the minimum level rating of E for energy efficiency set by the government, an Energy Performance Certificate or EPC for short. There are some exceptions and a few different types of tenancies that can be caught under the regulations. In general though, landlords need to have an EPC for every property that they let to prove it meets the standard. A property owner or landlord could be fined between £200 and £500 if they do not make an EPC available where required to any prospective buyer or tenant. Banning orders also came into effect on the 6th of April, where an offence on the banning list has taken place. In such instances, banning orders can be sought by the local authorities. We then have the introduction of the rogue landlord database, which also came into force on the 6th of April. For more information on these three new regulations, visit the government's website, details of which can be found in the description of this video. The government has now released its response to the mandatory client money protection consultation. The consultation invited views and comments on how membership of mandatory client money protection schemes for letting and managing agents in England should be designed, implemented and enforced. Here are some of the highlights. Firstly, it's agreed that a market-led approach is most suitable. For consistency, all schemes will need to meet a set of requirements in order to be approved by the government. This ensures that all agents will be able to have an adequate level of protection. Agents and landlords will not have to belong to a professional body to be a member of an approved scheme. They must, however, ensure that they take out sufficient cover for the amount of client money they hold. Penalties for not adhering to these standards won't result in a ban and it won't be a criminal offence, but a fine of up to £30,000 could be received enforced by local authorities. These changes are likely to be brought into force in the autumn, ahead of the ban on tenant fees that is also due to come into force. In late 2017, we launched the DPS Rent Index. It's a brand new housing index based on the data from nearly 6 million tenancies that gives unique insight into trends in the private rented sector. It covers all areas of the UK and was developed by leading economists. Using our extensive database of rent information, the index has the capacity to inform the rental housing market, shaping both public policy and investor decision making. We've recently released the latest issue, showing the trends for the last quarter, where the average rent in the UK dropped for the first time since 2012. Check it out and see how your region stacks up compared to the rest of the UK. Landlords and agents have a lot of responsibilities when it comes to their tenants. These include carrying out right to rent checks, a current gas safety certificate, safeguarding any tenancy deposit in a government approved scheme, supplying a current EPC, and providing a copy of the government's How to Rent leaflet. However, recent court cases highlight the importance of serving certain prescribed information at the very start of a tenancy before you even hand over the keys. The case that involved Assured Property Services, heard at Edmonton County Court on the 31st of June last year, involved the late service of a gas safety certificate, which then meant a Section 21 notice served to the tenant was invalid. So how do you avoid this potential problem? The easiest way is possibly to have a checklist to hand at the point of completing the signing of the tenancy agreement with your tenant. Unfortunately, without a time machine, there's no way to rectify failure to serve documents at the start of a tenancy, so make sure you're prepared. Well, that's it from me. Until the next update, thanks for watching.